Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows Style and Spirit. I want to talk about Nell Fletcher, in my opinion, caping for her son Lance when it comes to his new baby. And I pose the question, for conversation just on a social level, would that same level of help be given to a single mom? So before we get into their conversation, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. So we all know that Lance is a dad to three beautiful children, and the youngest baby kind of threw everyone off because the baby was just born very recently. I don't even think it's been a full year yet. And it threw everyone off because he was fake dating Destiny. I think it was more so real on his behalf, but definitely fake dating for a storyline, in my opinion, for Destiny. And so I think that he kind of blew up her spot when he posted the new baby, as a proud parent would. But Destiny said that she had no clue. And I am convinced that she is saying the truth on that, just because of how Nell and Lance are talking about her feeling like they owed her an explanation about the new baby. And I think that relationship, again, it was fake dating, and perhaps, he's been married at least once, and he has three kids. I have a feeling he's not looking for anything too serious anyway. So that's probably why he didn't have a conversation with Destiny. I do think that that's very, very weird. But in any event, he's talking about how he has to do so much work with this new baby who, I imagine was waking up during the night when they were filming, and he could use some help so that he can fully function on his job. Nell is super duper sympathetic towards him, and she wants to help in a major way. And so let's go ahead and get into their conversation. And then I want to talk about how, a single dad kind of gets all these accolades for doing all this work as a parent should. But in my opinion, single moms sometimes are viewed as, well, you made your bed, now lie in it. You're the one who let him F raw, and, he's not helping you. You two didn't get married prior. So, there you go. Have at it. So let's go ahead and play their conversation, and I will come back with my commentary. And of course, the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this soundbite is allowed. Let's do it.
So, how are you doing?
It's been an adjustment period, right? Although I have three kids, I'm not used to being, it's like everything is on me.
My mom has been a big help, and of course my dad has too. Early on, when the baby was born, I was staying with them, so I decided to go back home. And things have been good, but of course, mom being mom, she's a little concerned about my well-being.
When she's up at 2 a.m, she wakes up, I'm making the bottles. If her stomach's upset, if I gotta go to the ER, whatever the case, that's all on me. And still knowing that I own a construction company. 6 a.m., 7 a.m., Lance, you better be up and on your feet because your employee's calling you. So, and I think I'm doing good, but mentally and physically, emotionally, I'm drained. I'm tired. But as a father, as a parent, you have to make those sacrifices. And that's what I tell myself each and every night.
Okay, so would it help, like, if we go back to maybe I get her 2 days on, they give you 2 days off?
I think it'll help me, but I don't know if it'll help her, Mom. I think she has gotten so used to being up under me to where it's going to be an adjustment period for her. And I don't think I don't want to do that to her.
Well, how do you think it would work if I just stay here maybe 2 nights out the week? That way she's still in the house here.
I would definitely love the help, but I feel like you need to probably mention this to Dad first. Just so that he is included in it.
If I cannot, as your mother at my grown ass age, and your dad at his grown ass age, be separated for 2 days but been married for 30 years, that's a problem to begin with. We've overcome bigger than this. Infidelity, finances. This here is small. 2 days, it's not the end of the world. He'd be fine.
I feel like my mom doesn't feel like she needs to have that conversation with my dad simply because I've heard her say with my own ears, I've been married to this man for 30 some odd years. He better get with the program. And I believe the program in her eyes is her.
Well, Destiny reached out to me. She called, and it was like, you could have told him. And I'm like, what? Your grandbaby, your new grandbaby?
I mean, but that's a bit like excessive.
I mean, this is how the conversation went. And I was like, well, Destiny, I don't feel like I owe you, and I didn't have to tell you. Hell, y'all was flirting with my godson, Twan, but you're supposed to be dating Lance, so I was confused. I didn't know, hell, if y'all was together, not together, I didn't know.
What has Lance told you about Destiny?
He just said, that, she's a nice lady. We don't talk about his relationship. He's like, no, she's a nice lady. I like hanging out with her.
He calls her lady?
She's fun. She has a lot of energy. She likes to do fun things. That's what I know. Do you feel like you owe her an explanation?
Explanation? No. Do I feel like I owe her a conversation? Yes. I think maybe just a sit down. Give her the opportunity to ask me some things. I guess if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd probably have a few questions. I don't think I'd be upset, but
you wouldn't be upset?
No, I wouldn't be upset because, again, Destiny made it very clear that she was not looking for anything serious and everything was casual.
What is it about Lance that made you want to pursue dating?
Lance and I have had this crazy type of chemistry for years.
But do you see yourself being in a relationship with Lance?
Right now, I'm dating, and I'm happy with dating.
And the fact that let's just call it for what it is. Destiny kind of played in my face a little bit. So I wouldn't be upset because it's like, I know what it is. We're two individuals. She thinks I'm attractive. I think she's very attractive, right? But at the end of the day, I mean, what is that, really? We spent some time together. We went on a couple days, right? Casually dating.
Okay, so that clip is from Reality Entertainment TV on Instagram. That is where that clip is, where I saw that. So I wanted to talk about how, I felt like production, they really captured all of the things that parents experience, period, in their physiological being, being mentally exhausted, perhaps mentally stressed, with all of your responsibilities, from taking care of all of the child's needs, finding energy to try and perform well on your job. And then there's also taking care of the house, the cooking, the cleaning up of the kitchen, doing the laundry, cleaning the bathroom, cleaning out the fridge, going grocery shopping, taking the laundry outside, taking the garbage outside. All of those house duties that you have to do on a regular basis, in addition to meeting the kids' needs, working hard on the job, and then whatever energy is left, you may try to devote to exercising and getting some rest, and maybe, washing your hair or doing things like shaving, you know what I'm saying? So, or finding the time to go to the spa and get those things done. That all requires time and energy and then money, I say, on top of all of that. So production did this beautiful job of capturing everything that Lance is going through as a dad with a new baby. And he was saying that, if the baby needs to go to the doctor, the baby wakes up, it's all on him. He has to do those things. Then he has to wake up at 6 a.m. and then go to work. And I feel like that's very fair and realistic to show what a parent goes through. This video is about me talking about society as a whole. Do they give such grace to a single mom? Of course, I check out the blogs to see what piques my interest, and I'll give my commentary on it. Just this week, a Black woman made a video about how overwhelmed she feels. And she actually said in her video, you know, women, if you don't have kids, don't have them. If you can control it, don't have kids because it's just too much work. I feel overwhelmed. She says she cries every night. A lot of the comments in the comment section, and a lot of these came from women, they were saying things like, but you knew it was a lot of work after the first baby. And the lady had like 3 or 4 kids, what she said in the video. There were people saying, you knew it was a lot of work after the first baby. Well, why did you keep having babies? Like, no empathy, okay? And I'm not saying that they were incorrect in their opinions. They were correct, like even that very first baby, because I heard newborns, they run in the show. I heard newborns run the house, baby. Those infants, that's what I've been told by a friend. So to think that you go through that additional times, and now that you are like this expert mom, you've got multiple kids, so you've been a parent for several years, to now say to women, don't have kids, don't have them. You know, people just lack the empathy in the comment section. But I feel like women are going to find Lance so even more handsome and sexy that he is sharing his feelings and being vulnerable as a single dad. And, you know, he's got the baby. And which is fine. I think that's very kind. I'm just wondering, in society, do we extend that same exact grace to a single mom when she's feeling stressed out? And I definitely have heard of women, especially when the mom first has the baby, her mother or mother-in-law may assist her and stay overnight for a few nights. I don't think everyone gets that same level of help, but if you do, I think you're very fortunate. That I think that that's amazing. But, you know, Nell is willing to stay away from her crib for 2 to 3 nights a week to assist Lance. So if the baby wakes up, she'll get up and meet the baby's needs, and he can sleep all through the night. I think that's very generous of Nell. I think that that is very kind of her. I do pose the question, would she have that same energy if Lance was a daughter? If like Kayla, you know, became a single mom, or would she extend that same level of help, or would she say to her, you know, you chose to have the baby, so, you know, that's your experience. You know, I was a single mom to your brother Lance for a while, so, you know, I had to do this, that, and the third. You know how some people are like with their kids, well, I had to struggle so they can. You know, I know Lexi wouldn't have gotten that same level of help as Lance. But even of her own daughter, would she get that same level of help? And again, this is more so about the way society views single moms and treats women in general. I'm not pointing the finger at Nell Fletcher individually, specifically, but I just wonder if people would help, you know, a single mom in the same regard. One of my friends from high school, so I've known her the majority of my life. She's married, and you know, when she had like her twin boys and her daughter, like her mom was staying with her and her husband a few nights a week to help her get the kids ready in the morning. But my friend is married, so I feel like, again, that empathy, it kind of increases if it's a single dad or if it's a married woman. But for the single mom, she kind of wears a scarlet letter and is looked upon differently, as if she kind of, you know, effed herself and conceived the children. I even had this thought while watching this clip on Instagram of Lance and Nell. It kind of also reminded me of like when a young lady is growing up in a very religious environment. And you know how that is, where your church family, they kind of become an extended family where they feel like they can be all up in your business, ask you all these sorts of questions and judge you. And so the young lady, she may become actually active and gets pregnant. And then she is actually forced to go before the church, stand in front of the congregation, and apologize for getting some before marriage and getting pregnant, but she's up there doing that herself alone. The guy isn't with her, confessing their sins to other people as if the congregation is perfect, and she is not. I always found that a type of event or ritual to be disturbing. I think it's disturbingly judgmental, disturbingly one sided, and a double standard. It's just like in some African cultures. I learned this in college where some cultures may force a young lady once she becomes around like a young woman. She gets her private areas like sewn up. And I was told that those stitches break on her wedding night. The husband literally breaks them during intimacy. Extremely painful, bizarre, and just so patriarchal. And I read somewhere that the model Iman, she did grow up in a culture that did that, but her mom protected her from it by telling all the people like in their village, like, oh yeah, I got that done to her when she didn't. And I read stories about some African young women. They came to the States for college, and they became close with their roommates and confided in them about what was done to them. And one young lady like showed her roommate what she looked like down there after that particular ritual, and the roommate cried. She couldn't believe it. She was just so horrified, so. And I know that these examples are not the same of Nell willing to spend half her week at her son's house to help him with the baby, but I am giving the example of double standards. And everything that women go through is so much more harsh. And anything that a woman does that isn't favorable, or some might deem a mistake, such as becoming a single mom, it's like she wears this scarlet letter, and she is just, less worthy of empathy and respect. But, the man gets it at any level. Like in Boys in the Hood, in the beginning of the film, when Cuba Gooding Jr.'s character, Trey, he was in middle school and he was starting to get into fights, and Angela Bassett's character, his mom, could tell that he was going down the wrong path. So she says, well, you're going to go live with your dad. And then, the years advance. He's a teenager. He's about to graduate high school and go to college. And she's having a conversation about Trey with his dad, Furious, played by Lawrence Fishburne. And, Lawrence is Furious is telling Angela Bassett's character, I think you need to chill. I think I got this. I've been taking care of him these last several years. He's been living with me. And Angela Bassett's character told him, whoa, whoa, whoa. You've done what you're supposed to do as a parent. When a woman does all that work, it's just, she's supposed to do it. She's the mom. But when y'all men do it, you act like you should get all these accolades and awards and recognition, and you're doing something so miraculous and extraordinary. That don't make you special. It might make you cute, but it don't make you special. I remember that scene because I thought, that's right. He's a parent just like she is. And quick side note, Boys in the Hood is such an amazing film for multiple reasons. John Singleton was only 21 years old when he directed that film. And also a lot of actors who have had amazing careers, they were all in that one film. Angela Bassett, Lawrence Fishburne, Nia Long, Morris Chestnut, and even the rapper Ice Cube. He has had a pretty good acting career as well. So I just thought that was so interesting how so many gifted, talented actors who were blessed with these enormous careers, they all starred in Boys in the Hood, all in one film. It was kind of like the film was a magnet and it drew all of these great actors to it. Interestingly, like the Mickey Mouse Club, it had Justin Timberlake, Britney Spears, and Christina Aguilera on the show and at the same time. So that's, those are just patterns that sometimes pop out to me. But I just wonder, like, if Lance was a single mom, would he get the same level of help? Because people totally look at a single mother sometimes in disdain. But, let me know what you all think. Do you see a lot of people being willing to stay at a single mom's house for half the week because she's feeling drained, overwhelmed? Do you think that people show the same level of empathy? Even society in general with reality TV, how production just made this scene so lovely and like emotionally safe for Lance. Do you think that even reality TV kind of allows single moms to vent on the same level? I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on this video and please subscribe to the channel. I hope that you all are having a fantastic weekend. I believe I'm about to make another video. I was wondering, should I make it a video or a short about the new Denzel Washington film? It's directed by Spike Lee. So it is a Spike Lee joint called The Highest to the Lowest. It sparks a lot of conversation as well. So I'm going to make another video about it, but I saw that today and I worked out. I went to the park first this morning. I walked around 4 times. That was like 2.25 miles. It was like 51 minutes. Then I went to one of the trees and I put on, they're kind of like gloves for when you're like lifting weights and working your upper body, just so you don't put all that pressure like on your fingers, on the palm of your hand. So I wore that because I was using a tree as like a wall, and I was doing like the wall push-ups, and I did 20 squats. And then I went back to my car and I had like those hand weights where you like slip your fingers in. And then I did a deep squat in second plie, and I just lifted up like on the balls of my feet, 1 foot at a time, and extended my arms up and did that. And then I went to the gym and walked for another 55 minutes. And then I came home, got dressed, and I went and saw the movie. And here in Michigan, we have what's called the Woodward Dream Cruise, where people who own classic cars, they cruise their classic cars down Woodward Avenue. It's a large avenue that goes through several suburbs, as well as the city of Detroit, all the way to downtown Detroit. But that's not how long the Woodward Cruise is. I was just describing how long Woodward is, the street. But people cruise and in their classic cars, and it's just like a ton of people on the sides. They sit in their lawn chairs. Vendors are out and everyone just enjoys. So I like drove a little bit in the area, but it was like so much traffic. I was like, let me come on home. And then I went to Starbucks and then I came home. But yeah, so I hope you all are having a great weekend and I will talk with you soon. Bye.